Welcome. This is Chip Roasting.
I'm Wally.
I am somebody. I'm Brennan. I'm not Brennan. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. We're roasting some chips.
This computer.
Don't hit record yet. I'm not ready. Oh,
Well,
hi everybody.
well,
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Got to start things off in a fun mood here.
so let me just say, before we get started,
Yes, Wally.
last episode,
Uh-huh.
I said we did something on time, and we did. We did for once. We recorded when we said we were going to record.
Absolutely.
I
We did.
screwed up and uploaded it late, like 2-3 weeks late. So this is actually going to come out at a decently normal interval.
Perfect. See, it was our
So-
master plan the entire time. That's
Yep.
just, what we were planning on doing here.
Exactly. That was totally planned.
Yep. Planned.
So we were going to do a halfway episode with Loki, and then I didn't watch any of Loki until very recently,
Classic.
which makes sense for the last couple of years. Up to date on Star Wars, has no idea what the hell is going on in Marvel. I still haven't
Mhm.
watched Secret Invasion,
Oh, have you not?
so no, like I've watched the first 2 episodes, I think.
Well, you watched probably the correct amount of Secret Invasion then, or a little closer to the correct amount. In my opinion, I'd say the correct amount is 0 episodes. Once you've seen the show as a whole.
Yeah, I've
But,
heard it's not
I
good.
mean, yeah,
It's not good.
just to give it a little bit of a taste here, 2 episodes is probably more than you need.
So we have all of Loki to talk about. I've actually seen a Marvel movie on time for once. I went and saw the Marvels over the
Hey.
weekend. So on Saturday morning even. So like pretty
Ooh.
early for me. We talk about that. First news, as per always.
As per always.
As per always. That is a word. That is a phrase. As per
Mhm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while, so we're gonna go all the way back to October, 1 month ago. It's only been a month.
Yeah, and it is kind of funny talking about going all the way back to October for news when to the viewer last episode released. I'm assuming in November here, already towards the end of October.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then for all we know, this episode might not release until December. So,
Or it could be like that one episode. I think it's episode 46 that I never release.
oh, is that still not out?
No.
Released?
I just skipped it. Because I'm
what
pretty
did
sure
you-
episode 46 is called episode 45.
What episode is that?
I don't know. I've never gone back and
Wow.
like I edited it. I just never uploaded it.
There's the what's the meme Star Wars episode 2 where he's looking for like Camino or whatever.
The
What's that
archives are
line?
incomplete.
Yes, the archives are incomplete. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So someone ever somehow decides to hack my computer, they can find the lost episode. Or
Yep,
maybe
yep.
I'll just upload it one day without any
Yeah.
context.
Hey guys, as a milestone to celebrate 5 subscribers here, we will release
The-
our lost episode. So make sure to hit that subscribe button before I knock
Exactly.
my microphone over.
I'll release it on our Patreon that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Look, if we ever get the amount of subscribers to where we can make a Patreon, I will make it and I will release it. So I'm looking at you, Matt.
Yep.
Actually, no, I'm pointing at the camera that doesn't exist if you're listening. But
Yeah. Wait.
get us to subscribers.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, this is a misunderstanding. I thought that Matt was always standing behind the camera during the podcast here, so we were just talking to him directly. Oh, he's a listener.
He knows. He knows.
That
He knows,
that makes
Matt.
more
No,
sense.
yeah, you're gonna have to leave now if he knows.
Oh.
You can't know.
Oh, I was right. Oh, score.
God, Brennan.
Point for the home team.
Anyway, back on topic. News.
News. All the way back in October.
Though we don't get off topic as much as we used to. At least I don't think we do. Those
Probably
episodes
not.
used to be 2 hours long, and the news was at least an hour and a half of it.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are 2.5 hours long, the news was an hour of it, and then us going through a 30-minute episode was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Marvel Studios intends to alter its TV production approach in response to internal feedback, internal, external, whatever they really want to say.
Internal feedback that just happened to coincide with the writer's strike ending, or all of these were like things that were in the contract of like all studios have to have this moving forward, and there's no way for Marvel to no longer have it. Just happened to coincide with internal feedback saying the exact same thing. So,
and also external feedback. Like, come on. We also had this feedback
whatsoever. I think it was just external feedback for all of this. I don't think there was a bit of internal feedback that they listened to whatsoever. I think it was all just the external feedback of the Writers Guild saying, "Hey, this is required now." But anyway, I will let Marvel Studios continue here.
They're going to alter their TV production approach by assigning dedicated showrunners to craft plot, episodes, and show Bibles.
Yep.
As well as the shift towards a multi-season serialized TV content instead of a limited series. Now, the second one I think may be more external, as in external Hollywood, because we all hate 6 episodes.
Yeah.
We've talked about that ad nauseum on this show, that the 6 episodes just doesn't cut it. And then they tried 9. It still wasn't. Actually, She-Hulk was decent length, but we still wanted more. There's still more to be had. Was Miss Marvel also 9 episodes, or was it 7?
Miss Marvel was 6.
It was 6 too?
Yeah.
Felt like a lot more than that. I don't know why.
Yeah, but just a move to like serialized in the very least here. That's an awesome step forward, because it's like, I mean, it's like always been like that, but it's not structured as it's just such a quick story, and I just want more of that longer content.
Yeah,
where like build up to something, have some character development here.
Yeah, and it's really shown like in the past, like when it was Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, I think, when they did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and when they did
that was fantastic.
The one with Netflix, the 3 with Netflix, was 3 or 4, the 4 with
Netflix,
whatever.
5 with Netflix.
5?
6.
Oh,
6.
You're right.
They had Daredevil, Jessica Jones,
I like
Luke
to
Cage,
forget
Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher. Exists. Yeah,
and I just happen to forget Punisher exists.
Yeah.
I think about the main 3, because those main 3 were the ones that came together in that. Well, there were 4 in that show, but again, Iron Fist and But anyway, those shows,
those were great.
Most of those shows, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., phenomenal television. Serialized, went on for a long time. Even though it was a long time for the most part. Some of them are 2 seasons, some of them are 3. Still, they were longer too, as well, like season wise, like number of episodes per season.
And also with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I feel like Agent Carter is kind of overlooked most times. As like a TV show airing around the same time, but Agent Carter was phenomenal as well. Just want more
only 2
stuff
seasons
like that.
Yep. Still, I mean, longer seasons. There were fewer, but again, really, really good. There's a couple more. I mean, they had like
there's Inhumans, but we can ignore that because that doesn't count.
Yeah, it was a bad show. No, but what's the one on Hulu about the teenagers?
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
Runaways,
which I've heard mixed feedback on, but I mean, again, it told a longer story and it grew the MCU, or whether it was MCU or not, grew the Marvel brand.
MCU, but
and then what was the one that you really like that aired on FX? It was like really trippy.
Oh, Legion,
yeah. So that's another one. I mean, like they've done this before, they've done it well. I don't know why they changed the formula, because I mean we've talked about this a lot, 2-3 years ago, about how WandaVision could have been a lot like Legion.
Yep.
Ended up not being. I still love the show. One of my favorite shows in the MCU. But if it had been longer, if they'd done a little bit more depth, diving into each character,
Yeah. Or just stuck to the nature of the show itself and not kind of like pivoted so hard.
Yeah. I mean, you can go back and listen to old episodes of the show and hear us talk about that.
Yeah. Back with the original creators instead of us, the clones who replaced them.
Brennan, you're not supposed to tell them that.
Oh, dang it. I forgot about that. Oh, well. there'll be a different clone back here next podcast.
Yeah, they're
then.
gonna kill us now. They're gonna
Yeah.
replace us with the other ones. Damn it.
Well, they'll at least kill me. I don't know about you.
C4 and C3 are nowhere near as funny as we are.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, but those guys were forever ago here. Wait, have they been replacing me more than they've been replacing you? It sounds like they may have been replacing
Yeah, it seems
me.
like they've replaced you a lot more than they've
Oh.
replaced me, huh?
Oh,
Well, now they're gonna replace me twice. So,
oh, sad.
all right.
Sorry.
Anyway, Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, Marvel have let go of all writers and directors of Daredevil Born Again as part of its significant creative reboot of the series.
Oh, sorry. One last thing about the previous note. You're talking about how the show's just. I feel like we kind of knew this before, but didn't really notice in this. I mean, I don't know. This caught me kind of by surprise. Hearing that like shows didn't have dedicated showrunners at all. They didn't have show Bibles or anything like that until now. It's like that's
Yeah, that was
what they're
weird.
adding in now.
I mean, it explains a lot.
It does. It explains so much. I feel like we kind of knew that without actually knowing that. But it's just weird to have it spelled out like that.
Yeah, it kind of seems like. Fortunately, unfortunately, Kevin Feige's just kind of been like, "Here, do this," and then they just kind of, "Oh, okay, we'll do that," and then they do it, and then he's like, "Maybe we don't do that." I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to add that last note. Moving on to
Daredevil, Born Again, all writers, all directors, Gonzo,
which is wild.
very bad.
It
Very bad.
does look like what they're doing now with Daredevil Born Again will be a step up, but it just shows how chaotic Marvel was prior to this. Apparently, they had a whole show. They had like 4 episodes filmed. They had a lot filmed. We
Did
were
they
talking
really?
about a lot of the behind the scenes. Oh yeah, because like all the behind the scenes pictures and stuff that we were
That's right.
seeing.
Yeah.
All that got scrapped now. They are starting over from square one. So all this stuff with Kingpin, all of the Easter eggs we saw, that's just gone now. That is a part of a story that we will probably never see. Which kind of sucks because it's like, you know, why are they doing all this stuff where they're doing all this hard work and then scrapping it here? But if it gets better, if it improves the story, they seem to have more of a grapple now. It's not just kind of like aimlessly swimming or whatever. They actually have a direction now, which seems solid. Most times they scrap stuff, they don't have a direction, so they keep kind of spinning their wheels here, and we get
like with Blade.
Yeah, and
just happened a couple times.
Yeah, we get a pile of garbage after everything because they never found a direction. Just kind of becomes this mismatch of like this like hash up of like 100 different scripts and visions and everything. Here, more promising. Like if this had been at another time in Marvel, I would be really, really concerned about the show. But also they have turned a new leaf now. They are finally going in a good direction with having showrunners, a show Bible, all that stuff. So this now looks like a promising step up.
Yeah. Well, and then a couple days after that news broke, it did break that they found a new showrunner and a director. It looks like the showrunner is the same one from The Punisher, Dario Scardapane, and the Loki season 2 director Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead joined the crew, which happened a couple days later. But well, I didn't send it to you until recently.
Yeah, it was the director of The Punisher, I think, is who's the showrunner here. The showrunner of The Punisher is the director here, like
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, hearing that definitely helped put my mind at ease a lot more. It's like maybe someone taken not necessarily from the same show, but from the same era of those Netflix hits. You know, might be a step up here. I was hearing a lot of positive things about what we'd seen and like leaks from the old draft of the show here. But if as a whole reliable critics were saying it's not the best, and here we're moving in a better direction with those
creative changes up front.
Then hopefully high hopes. And not to jump too far ahead, but what we've seen with the Echo trailer so far, I have very high hopes about all of this moving forward now. Even though we've seen trailers can be deceiving in the past, a lot of surrounding information with the trailer makes it seem like Marvel has really kind of started to figure out how to move in the right direction. It's gonna take them a while still,
Right.
but they're getting there.
And it'll be interesting to kind of see
Maybe.
what the Loki producers can bring to such a small scale kind of show.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Daredevil, and as he's been a part of the Avengers and the comic books and stuff like that, but that's not how really he's known. He's just kind of known in Hell's Kitchen. It's kind of it. He's not been involved in anything bigger than that, other than what was that show, like the team up show? I can't remember what it's called.
The Defenders,
which again, still pretty small scale.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table with that.
Mm-hmm.
Next piece of news I think was really big and important to Brennan. The Best Buy plans to stop selling physical media such as 4K Blu-rays and DVDs as soon as the end of Q1 2024.
Which is wild, and I feel like to some degree a lot of Best Buys have already kind of started doing that. They've been doing it for a while here. I used to be able to pop into a Best Buy, get a DVD, a CD, or whatever. It was fun to browse around some of the bigger stuff while I was there. Now, I walk in and it's like only like refrigerators or televisions or whatever Best Buy sells, and it's like I can't just have fun in a Best Buy now because it's like all like, oh, you want this item, spend $3,000, and it's like I can't
just like that.
Yeah, like there are no like temptation purchases in like the checkout line or whatever. It's like all $3,000 iPads or whatever. So it's just a little wild because like you can still get them on their website, but now it's like you're not gonna be able to get them from Best Buy at all, which is
and
shocking.
I know for a while there they were selling records, I think, and that's like the best part of buying records is browsing.
Yeah. Now they just removed kind of all the browsing.
Yeah, that and CD. Just when you buy music, that's like the best part of it is browsing. Just kind of see what piques your interest. And I'm sure this goes for movies as well, but not a big movie person. So
I think the only physical media stuff I've seen in the Best Buys near me recently have been like video games, and it sounds like according to this that might be gone as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in physical media.
Very
starting to slowly go away, and I can see a reasoning for it, but like I don't know, and I may not have this connection directly with movies, but there's something cool about going out and buying a record, something cool going out about it, buying a video game, a physical copy of it, throw it in the video game system or throw it in your jukebox or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting. It's not even just physical media; it's just a technology thing. So interesting. Marvel execs have begun to reconsider focusing on Jonathan Majors Kang for the next saga. They're discussing backup plans, including pivoting to Doctor Doom, and I don't like this at all.
It's interesting, and like I've recently seen something that kind of contradicts that and makes it seem like they're not going after that angle. After all, here from like another inside source, I saw a lot of people excited about that because apparently when it comes to like Secret Wars or like the multiverse in one of the runs of the comics, Doctor Doom was like a very important figure.
God King Doom
in that run. But
Doctor Doom is like a scary character. Like it's scary how powerful he can get in the comics. Like I said, God King Doom. I mean, he can hold a lot of power.
Yeah, the one interesting thing about this is, as of right now, they still have a movie called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. So not sure how they can get away from Kang in that one unless they just scrap that movie or change that movie entirely.
If it happens.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point I've reached with this, with a lot of Marvel ones. If it happens, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They've already done so much with Kang. You can't just I guess you could just forget about it.
You could.
I mean, they've done it with just about everything else, like the giant creature in the middle of the ocean.
Easy. Yeah. I do think with how Loki ended, and not to get into all of that yet,
yeah,
but with how they ended, it definitely looks like they could very easily continue this story with Kang, have Kang
Yeah.
be the BBEG. They're at a perfect spot for that. But also, they could just scrap Kang completely and be fine with how it ended as well. So it looks like there are options available for them. We'll just have to see.
Well, and then there's also the possibility of them doing both at once if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like that's how they do it in the comics. Like X-Men usually have their big storyline, and then the Avengers have theirs. Sometimes they come together,
Okay.
sometimes they don't. Like you can do whatever you want. I mean, you're
Yeah.
Marvel. You have
Yeah.
such a big wealth of content that you can pull from. I mean, you can do both. I mean, you can have the Young Avengers, which we'll get to,
Oh,
fight
yes.
Kang, and we can have the regular Avengers fight, or just the Fantastic Four if they ever happen, fight Doctor Doom. Like, I mean,
Sure.
it's all open for you.
Mhm.
Um,
Moving on to more weird
Speaking of
things that
Avengers.
Marvel has done. Yeah.
Marvel has recently had talks about bringing back the original cast up for a new Avengers movie, which would include reviving Iron Man and Black Widow. They have not committed to the idea, and I don't think they should because it's really
Yeah.
stupid.
Just along the lines of weird kind of things they're talking about here.
How to ruin Endgame in one decision.
There is like, and it's also so weird how that article was phrased because obviously, when somebody like talks about it versus when it appears in print, there's a lot of like translation that can happen that can kind of skew the actual meaning. The way I see it is if they want to do an Avengers movie, have it be like a flashback kind of movie, just kind of like Black Widow, where something we didn't get to see on the screen, but something that could have happened off screen
But what?
and be fine. Like that's the only way I see you being able to have Iron Man and Black Widow in the movie without doing some weird kind of whatever.
I mean, they do that in the movie, in the comics all the time, so it really wouldn't be that different. But
Yeah, but it's
emotional toll it took on the audiences
exactly.
after Infinity War and Endgame, you can't just, oh, they're back.
Yeah, yeah. So,
and then if you do it, you can't make a shitty movie. And I know a lot of people, and it wasn't that bad. You can't make a shitty movie like Black Widow with an Avengers film. You can't.
Yeah, which Black Widow, I just wish they didn't have a post credit scene where it changed the timeline of the movie so drastically because it makes it difficult to like insert into the correct watching order without having to skip the post credit scene.
Right.
But yeah, I think I saw a quote that maybe contradicted that too, but like it was more signs that Marvel's been scrambling recently here, especially because they thought Ant-Man Quantumania would be a huge hit, and then it was not a huge hit.
It was a bad movie.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense to be an Ant-Man movie, to be honest.
No.
I mean, we've talked about that.
Not at all. And not to spoil things for the audience, I think we might be doing a Marvel ranking episode next with a lot of the recent stuff. And
Yep.
Sorry, I looked down. But yeah, not to spoil anything too much from that, but I think potentially Ant-Man 3 is the bottom of the list, like the very bottom for me here. So we'll see what that ends up being next episode potentially, but
probably
not a great
span of time
one.
before really anything. I don't think anything's coming out for a while.
Yeah, I think
Star
the next
Wars,
thing
Marvel. So this could be a good time.
We do have What If Season 2, which I think they loosely confirmed is going to happen before the end of this year.
No, it's not. No, even if it does, who gives a shit? To be honest.
Yeah, and then
they should just drop all the episodes at once because no one's gonna fucking care.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that for Echo, which we did get a release date for, that is January 10th.
Right?
Yep, January 10th. I know that's next in the news somewhere here. That I'm excited for. That's the next thing I'm excited for. It's kind of weird that they're dropping all of those episodes at once, but for What If they aren't, especially when they have like Star Wars Legends, which is kind of the same thing-ish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
or no, Star Wars Visions.
What?
Visions.
Yeah. Star Wars Visions, which I think is a substantial step up
Oh yeah,
from What If, but
and they're
those
usually
they
shorter
release
episodes.
yeah, and they release all the episodes at the same time, and it's fine. But yeah, not for What If. But
Um,
yeah, between now and January 10th, basically, I don't think we're gonna have any new. Oh, we're gonna have well, no, that's like in December, and like does Aquaman 2 really count for what we're doing here?
I
It might
I've never
not.
been that much into DC. Usually, you usually go see a DC movie and come back with a report.
I
Essentially,
I will probably do that with this movie too.
I wanted to see Blue Beetle. I just never did.
Oh yeah.
It's not something I went out of my way to do. Mostly because I forgot it was out. Because we
Blue
don't do
Beetle
podcasts very
was
often.
a pretty solid movie. I
Yeah.
stand by that.
Um. But yeah, so we can do a Marvel ranking video, and then I also want to do a High Republic before 2024,
Yeah.
especially with
I
new ones coming out. Because
I have
a
one of the
new
High
High Republic
Republic
book comes out
books.
tomorrow. Very
I have
excited.
one of the High Republic books on my list for Christmas.
Which
So
one?
we will see if
Light of the Jedi.
I don't know.
That's the first one, so it should be Light
Yeah,
of the Jedi.
like I literally just typed into Google what is the first High Republic canon Star Wars book, and I put that one on
It's Light of the Jedi. Yeah.
my list. So cool,
But yeah,
cool.
so the third set of books for the High Republic comes out starting tomorrow, but there's gonna be a couple
Sweet.
months between them. So, and then I think next year is when the new show comes out, right? I want to say, Acolyte.
Well,
It was supposed to.
yes,
I don't know
it's
how much of the writer and actor strike.
yeah, it's supposed to. I feel like Marvel and Star Wars have just been delaying. Oh, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if it's on our list. Another Star Wars movie got canceled. Another one listed as
Not surprised.
untitled Star Wars movie. I feel like we joked about that one of the
We
recent episodes
probably
here, and
did.
it happened again where another untitled Star Wars movie was canceled. This is like the 12th one or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
The only ones that survive are the ones that have directors added with them, and that's barely. And because the Patty, what's her name? The woman who directed Wonder Woman. That one I think is gone. I don't.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because the one that got canceled was Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie.
Well, that makes sense. I don't want that. After what I've seen he's done with Marvel, I don't want it either. So I'm okay with that. Speaking of Kevin Feige, Echo.
Echo.
I
I
don't know
did see
how I
that.
missed the trailer
That
for
actually was
weeks.
next. Yeah, because
Actually, it was only a week. Never mind.
I
I
mean,
say
like,
weeks.
I sent it to you, and then like, I texted you a bit later. I was like, "Did you watch the trailer?" And you were like, "No, I'm out to eat." And I said, "Okie dokie." And then a week later, you were like, "Oh, the Echo trailer."
I said, I
Yeah,
don't know how I missed that. You're like, I sent it to you. Like,
yeah,
I just now realized you sent it to me. As I was looking at this. Holy shit!
yep.
It looks
That
incredible.
it
That looks like the old Netflix shows.
yeah, it literally looks. And I haven't. I wish that I remembered to rewatch it before this thing, but like, just it looks so like gritty and realistic. It reminded me so much of like the Netflix shows. We get Kingpin confirmation
Kingpin's
that Kingpin is
back,
back,
baby. He is
and
back.
it was exactly what we were hoping for after how Hawkeye ended with her shooting him. I mean, the very last scene you see him with like a bandage covering his eye. So they're only making him more terrifying, and I hope we get a more Netflix Daredevil interpretation of
Yeah.
him.
Well, we
Hawkeye I
already
thought
have him in
was
the red suit,
fine,
right?
huh?
We already have him
Yes.
in the red suit, which is a step in the right direction.
Yep. Like
Not that I didn't like the yellow suit, but
yeah, and like Hawkeye, I thought was fine for him. It just didn't really do a lot, and like the kind of the master
She-Hulk.
manipulator that we saw
Oh,
in
you're talking about okay, Kingpin. Yeah.
Daredevil. Oh, you were talking about who are you talking
Daredevil.
about?
You were talking about
Daredevil.
Kingpin. I
Oh,
was talking about Daredevil.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Kingpin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I mean, he
yes.
was fine. I the thing that cemented the thing that made me the most excited for this show with Kingpin was the scene where he met Maya, where
Yes.
the hot dog guy, whatever, ice cream guy,
Yeah.
whatever, told her she couldn't have ice cream or whatever. And then he beat the shit out of him in an
Yeah.
alleyway. And I mean,
Yeah,
like
we're like
beat the like he beat like there was blood on his hands, like he
yeah.
beat him. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
oh my God,
They
finally we're getting Kingpin back.
and they showed it on screen, which I don't think they've shown, like Marvel has shown that level of brutality. I'm trying to think
Not in an
back
ad anyway.
because yeah, like maybe early Marvel did. We haven't really gotten anything like that recently here, and to have that be such a focus of an ad,
Mhm.
that was wild. And we got a shot of Daredevil in the trailer as well, which is
Yeah, very minor one. Yeah.
awesome. It looks from like a leak account, which is like sometimes accurate, sometimes not. Daredevil's not going to have like a starring role or anything,
No, and he shouldn't really. It's not his
just
show.
like an Easter egg role and like
Yeah.
flashbacks, and that's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I am more than okay with all of that, especially with how good the Kingpin element looks. And it looks like for Maya here, that is her name, right?
Yep. Yep.
Maya. Yeah,
Maya
it
Lopez,
looks
I
like
think.
for her, it almost looks like how the trailer's structured, how they're teasing things. They've done a lot before. It's like, oh, this is a villain, this is a bad guy, but then the show happens and it's like a villain doing only good, positive things the entire time. It looks like for this show, we actually are gonna have her as a villain for having like the lead role and like her struggling with like who she is in that role, but we're not just gonna have like, oh, a villain turned hero or anything. It's gonna be like an actual interesting, morally questionable story.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's the case. I'm really excited to find out more about this character who we saw only briefly in Hawkeye. Didn't really get a good feel for who she was.
Yeah.
Looks like they're changing her power set from the comics.
I did see
But I don't
that.
know how all this will play out. I'm hoping she can have a solid story and be a big player in the MCU moving forward. But also, I'm so excited about Kingpin.
Yeah, and I also noticed some of the um there was some glimpses of Maya's native roots as well, her indigenous
Yes.
roots, which I thought was really cool because a lot of times with characters like this, they just kind of like forego it or like they do a very stereotypical look at them. And it looks like they may be taking a genuine look at her indigenous culture, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a couple days ago, they did, or like a week, about 10 days ago, they dropped some news that Marvel has unveiled a new branding for stories independent from the wider storytelling in the form of Marvel Spotlight. I don't know if you saw anything about this.
Yes, I did.
Um,
I love that. That, in my opinion, is again what they should have done from the start. It's like not every show has to be part of this broader story you're telling. Have these standalone character focused stories. It gives me so much hope for Echo here. Like
yeah,
maybe this will be one of the best like new character show additions that we've seen.
yeah. It's got really good potential, and hopefully something like Daredevil, and if they continue Hawkeye, or if they do another season of Echo, another Werewolf by Night or Moon Knight, stuff like that, they'll kind of continue to put it under stuff like this, and then maybe they do come together at some point, but it's
Yeah,
not part of the big
yeah,
MCU
like
story they're trying to
ones
tell,
where you can have
or She
like
Hulk too.
yeah, like ones where you can have like the character interact with the larger story in like a movie or whatever, and it's like you kind of know who they are, but you don't have to have watched their show to understand them.
Yeah,
But viewers that have seen the show, they get a little bit of an enhanced ex experience.
yeah,
That's
and
all it needs to be. And I'm I'm really glad they're doing it with a lesser known character in this, giving them that kind of spotlight because I
yeah,
feel like those are the coolest ones to see.
yeah. And I wonder if they go back and rebrand some stuff, like Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night with the spotlight kind of
Ooh,
thing.
like retroactively.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Interesting,
Werewolf
interesting.
by Night has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it was really
Even
cool. I really enjoyed that.
even though they said it's going to tie in the future somehow, maybe here, but it's yeah.
Um,
But
that'd be
yeah,
really
because
cool. And then Moon Knight again has had nothing to do with anything, but it was a
yep,
really good show, and I really hope that they do continue on
yeah,
with it. I mean, shit, we've
yeah,
heard nothing about Moon Knight
yeah.
at all,
Um,
which sucks because it's such a good show.
But yeah, because like with Echo now, like back when the Daredevil Netflix show released, I don't think I knew anything about Daredevil at all.
You
And
knew
now
very
he's
little, yeah.
yeah, and now he's one of my favorite characters of all time. So I'm hoping the same thing can happen with Echo here, especially if this show is in that same kind of style.
Yeah, same with me. I like my favorite superhero was Spider-Man up until the Daredevil show, and now I have like a ton of physical comics for Daredevil. Like he's one of my favorites. I love Daredevil. I actually have 2 copies of one story, which I didn't realize until I moved.
Oh yeah,
that I had like, nice. Oh, this is I have 2 copies of the same exact story.
Nice.
But more to your point from earlier, Disney confirms that What If season 2 will release this holiday season.
Oh, sorry. One step back, because one more note with one more note with Echo is it is the first TVMA rated show under the MCU umbrella, which is also huge. When I got that confirmation, I was like, oh yeah, like Echo can be what it needs to be here. Because prior to that, I was like, they could dial things back. They're gonna like, off-screen combat or whatever. But seeing the trailer, knowing that it's like the Marvel Spotlight or whatever, and that it's TVMA, and that Marvel now has the flexibility to do more TVMA projects and R-rated projects, that's gonna let them open up in a major way here.
Well, and originally I know Marvel TV, they had a different project as Hellstrom. It's supposed to be TVMA. It was supposed to be the first one. That, and I think it's supposed to be in line with like Ghost Rider and stuff like that. But it ended up being scrapped from the MCU, but it became its own show. But better late than never with the MA, because I mean we're eventually going to get a rated R one with Deadpool. So we'll see.
Next May.
Very excited. Either way.
July, I think now.
Who knows?
We'll get into that. It's
down the list.
It's down on the list. Yeah.
What If season 2 this holiday season? No, it's not. I don't believe that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it needs to be based on the leak of episodes where it's like one of them is like a Christmas themed episode. I feel like that's what they're going for here. But it is kind of bizarre. Maybe around Thanksgiving they'll drop a trailer if it truly is coming the holidays.
Oh, it might be during the football games.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I don't really know anybody who's super stoked for it. Like, I was excited for What If back when I thought it was going to actually tie into the multiverse and all that. And then they just didn't have it tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness whatsoever.
I mean, no, they did. The one evil, dead Doctor Strange. That's what it was.
Nope.
Zombie Doctor Strange?
No, like all of that was confirmed to not tie into the Doctor Stranges from What If.
What the hell was the point of the show?
Yeah, the most charitable thing was like the Captain Carter, but like
but then she just got murdered,
and it was confirmed that was a different Captain Carter than the one we saw in What If. So yeah,
Marvel really likes just shooting themselves in the foot. Want to see me do it again?
Yeah,
and then they just keep going, and it doesn't stop.
So we'll see. There were a couple, I think, cool episode names or descriptions that I saw. So you will see if those end up being good. There were a couple promising premises from the first season, and I feel like I only ended up really enjoying like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
What If would be more exciting if it was Star Wars?
Yeah, or just like actual hypothetical scenarios instead of all this like impossible stuff that like they're pulling out. What like something I saw suggested online, which I'm like, that would be the coolest thing, is like, what if when Thanos snapped, the other half of the population was the ones that disappeared?
Interesting.
Like, that's an interesting story to tell. There's other things where it's like, this was a super big movie event. What if it went the other way? It's like, that's cool stuff. I think that sets up a whole lot of premises here. Why, for What If, are we doing all this stuff that was never a possibility in any of the movies?
What if Zemo never blew up the UN building. That'd
Sure,
be
yeah.
interesting. Huh. Well, because then what's his name would have never been Black Panther.
Yeah.
Just his dad
Or
would still be alive.
yeah, or it would have at least taken him a lot longer
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like this. Yeah.
to get that mantle.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, or like what if Hawkeye was the one who sacrificed himself instead of
Yeah.
Black Widow?
We'd have no Kate Bishop. And that is a tragedy.
Yeah.
Mostly because I love Haley Steinfeld.
Mhm.
Um, New release. Oh, you got anything else?
I don't know. What if Star-Lord hadn't punched Thanos while he was asleep and all of that? And
Oh, like in
while
the
they're trying to get the
trance.
gauntlet off, because they could do an interesting thing with that, where if that didn't happen, then in the Eternals they didn't stop that Celestial from being born, and there goes Earth.
Yeah.
I
See,
feel
there's
like
so many things. So
there's a lot
many
of potential
things.
to like tying in events.
All
Instead, they just like
and we're
the
just
what if has like no bearing on the MCU as a whole
and
with
we're
the
just lowly
characters.
podcasters coming up with these ideas.
Yep.
We are the lowest of the low in the industry,
hmm
other than YouTubers and
Mhm.
Twitch streamers,
hmm
which technically we're also YouTubers because when I upload this on YouTube. Anyway, new release dates for the MCU. I'm skipping the Star Wars one. We'll come back.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
come back to it.
yeah,
Deadpool
that's
3,
fine.
July 26th, 2024. Captain America 4, which by the way, completely forgot about. February 14th, 2025. Fantastic
Which
Four. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say with Captain America 4, it's wild because from what I've heard, it completed shooting like a while ago here.
Did it really?
Yeah, and like Deadpool 3 is still being filmed. It's like halfway through being filmed. So like
I thought they started over with Cap 4.
I allegedly from what I've heard, it's been testing really poorly. So they're like rewriting some things
Oh, okay.
and reshooting some things. One of the potential reasons it could be testing so poorly, and it's something I think we brought up when the cast of characters was first announced, is that one of the main heroes, or I don't know if they're a hero or comic book character or whatever, is the like a Captain America type hero from Israel, and
I see.
it
I see.
it was pretty politically charged before, and now there's like an ongoing war essentially over there. It's
Now, dude, it's been going on for decades.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just gotten
yeah,
worse right now.
exactly. It was very questionable beforehand, and now I'm like,
It's
if they're going in the
extremely
direction
questionable. Yeah.
that I think they're going with it, I can understand entirely why test screenings would be giving them a lot of backlash for it. So I don't know if they're going to be able to move forward with the current draft, the current version here at all.
Well, good thing
I'm
they had a year and a
personally,
half to correct it.
yeah, I'm personally hoping they rewrite a lot of that. If
Scrap it.
yeah,
Do it again.
if what my idea of
Bring in
the
Elegila.
character relationship hero thing is correct, I'm just like, let's just not do that. Let's do something
Literally
different,
anything.
please. Yeah. Just make the Falcon and the Winter Soldier just a movie so people can actually see it and it's edited with good pacing, and release that, and I'm sure a lot of people will be a lot more happy.
Fantastic Four, May 2nd,
Mhm.
2025, or never.
Yep.
Thunderbolts, July 25th, 2025, and Blade, November 7th, 2025, or also never. I told Brennan this. I refuse to believe Fantastic Four and Blade are coming out until I'm in the theater watching them. And
Yeah.
and I will not
That's very
believe it
fair.
until the ads at the beginning are over. The half hour of ads that are now at the beginning of every movie. It's 30 to 45 minutes now. It's kind of ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I will not believe it until the movie starts.
I
Like I refuse.
I would find it really funny if like we get like a trailer for the movie, you go buy a ticket, you sit in theaters, they play all of the ads. It gets to like where the movie should start, and there's just nothing. And then someone comes out that's like, "Hey, Wally, I'm sorry." So yeah, you were right. This was all a
It's all a
trick.
giant
Not,
hoax.
it's not releasing.
Dude, I wouldn't even believe it when I see a trailer. I'm like, okay, great. I've seen the trailer for several movies that aren't out yet for another year
Yep.
and a half.
Yep.
Like, what's the one from Sony? Fucking
Oh,
Craven the Hound.
Craven.
Craven.
Yep. Which
Maybe it's
that
happening.
what
I don't know.
that was supposed to release, I'm pretty sure, this October.
It was, and now it's been pushed back to like next
Yeah.
October
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, like we got a trailer for it and everything. It was ready to go.
They're
and
just
they
like,
pushed it out a year. Yeah.
okay, whatever. More
But yeah,
and if they're pushing it back because more people are going to the movies, no, they're not. Less and less people are going to go to the movies.
yeah. And the craziest thing about the announcements too is for the first time since I think COVID screwed up the movie release schedules here is next year we're only getting one Marvel movie and that
Yep.
is it.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of grateful for.
But how many shows are we getting? Couple, right?
If the list of upcoming shows is realistic, then like a million, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we're at
we'll
least
have to see.
guaranteed one with Echo.
Well, guaranteed's a strong word when it comes to Marvel here,
That's
but
fair.
yeah. Yep. Echo, we have the Agatha show still at some
God,
point,
no,
I think.
no, no, we're not. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I also kind of refuse to believe that Agatha, like after they changed the name and logo for the third time, I was like, yeah, this show's not happening.
I was like Agatha House of Harkness, and then there's Agatha, and then there's Agatha something something. I'm like,
Yeah,
this isn't happening.
it was Agatha House of Harkness, then Agatha Coven of Chaos, then Agatha the Darkhold Diaries, and that's the one.
Oh,
that
they
they're
changed it
on now.
again?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
Yep. So
It's just not happening.
that
No, it's
show
not.
I now firmly believe is never coming out.
Ever.
That's like the one for me. That and Ironheart, because I think Ironheart was supposed to
It's supposed to be
release.
so good. Oh god, I want that show so badly, but you're right, it's never happening.
I'm pretty sure it was initially supposed to release like pretty soon after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and that was like a year ago now, and we still don't have anything for Ironheart.
I've not
And I
heard
also
anything
think
about it.
I can't remember, and I really should look this up at some point, but I think I remember seeing that like Mephisto was confirmed for Ironheart, which
No,
to me
that
makes
was a
no
joke.
sense.
I saw that too. That's a joke.
Okay, all right, okay. You know what? I actually am gonna look this up now, though, while we're here.
First episode date 2024, supposedly.
Yeah, I'll believe that. Sure.
The series was announced. It was filming began in early June of 2022.
Wow.
It's finished.
It's done?
It was finished last November.
Wait, okay, so I looked up the Ironheart Mephisto rumor, and it seems to be very credible, according to a couple sources here.
Well, just because it's credible doesn't mean I'm going to believe it. So you know what else is a credible source? That is that Fantastic Four is happening. Marvel said it. I don't believe them.
Good point. Oh, so yeah, never mind. It is not confirmed. The rumors behind it spawned from some guy being casted to play like a mystery role in Ironheart, and everyone's saying he looks exactly like Mephisto, which I don't know if that's a compliment for him or not.
Well, apparently it was originally scheduled to debut like around right now, and now it says February 23rd. Oh no, sorry. Oh no, yeah. However, by February 2023, it was unlikely the premiere. September, and then the strike happened, and now they're saying 2025, September of 2025.
For what? For Ironheart?
For Ironheart, it's finished. Like they're done filming.
Yeah, I don't understand.
They finished filming a year ago. It's not happening. It's not a real movie.
Wild.
It's not a real show.
That is wild.
Filming had wrapped early 2022.
So yeah, apparently what caused the Mephisto Ironheart rumor is like for the actor, like sometime before this actor's role in the show was ever like officially confirmed, some like leak source was like, "Hey, this guy is going to be cast in Ironheart, and he's playing Mephisto." Everyone was like, "Yeah, right. This guy's not in Ironheart." And then like whatever time later, he it was like it was officially revealed that he was cast as like in a mystery role, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, maybe."
No, I think that was like a fake rumor that spawned out of, remember during WandaVision, everyone's like Mephisto, Mephisto, Mephisto,
Yeah,
Mephisto.
no, but
And like it never happened. I think that's what
like
that is.
the thing is that the actor is confirmed to be in the show here. It's just his role is a secret. So
It
everyone's
must be
taking that
Mephisto.
everyone's taking that to be Mephisto. I don't know if I believe that
I
here,
don't.
but
Well, you don't believe the show's happening, so that's fair.
yeah, no, I don't. And
Considering it
also,
again, like I said, it stopped filming a year ago.
yeah, yeah, because right now with just the amount of shows that uh Marvel has confirmed in very loose terms here. Anything 2025 and onwards, I don't believe is taking place. The stuff that has a confirmed release date of 2024, I there's like a 2% chance I think is releasing, which is higher than the 0% chance I feel for anything listed as 2025 onward.
Anyway, I can't believe they're done with the show and they just won't release it.
Nope.
They've been done with it for a year. It's gonna be released almost 3 years after filming.
Still better than a
Fantastic Four.
Warner Brothers release
Yeah,
schedule, which is just to
which we'll get to.
take completed things and put them in a vault where they're shelved in definitely. I love seeing the memes of when Warner Brothers announces their latest project and people are like, "Are you announcing this to us or to the IRS?"
Anyway, Deadpool 3 will return to filming this month. Great.
Sweet.
Cool.
And with the rumored tie-ins to the TVA, with how Loki has left off now, which again, not getting into that too much yet.
This is gonna
but
be like an 8-hour episode.
I no longer have high hopes about this being a quick episode at all. But I am very much looking forward to seeing where Deadpool 3 takes up the story of the TVA, because this will be the first time we've seen the TVA outside of Loki in the MCU.
Yeah.
This is the first time we'll see Deadpool in the MCU too. This is going to be a wild ride.
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
Blade director Jan Demage confirms rating of the MCU reboot will be rated R.
Very nice.
If it ever happens.
Yep. Rated R for really not happening.
Yep. And looks like that's it for Marvel. Bit of Disney news. A beta for a new merged app of Disney Plus and Hulu is set to launch next month with a spring 2024 release planned.
I personally hate, and you think I would love that because I don't like there being the number of apps that there are.
It's
but
too many.
I, through the stupid Spotify deal, still get Hulu for free. I don't have to pay a cent for Hulu because of like the Spotify promotion I got grandfathered into for whatever reason. I have ads. I can't escape the stupid ads. So like, is it worth it? Probably not. But I know that this is gonna make me no longer have Hulu for free here, and I don't like that. I like having Hulu for free. I'll do just pay a ton for Spotify, and I'm set.
Yeah, I don't know. It was inevitable because Disney entered a deal a couple years ago to buy half of Hulu, saying that they'd buy the other half, and they're already massively in debt, but they have to do it.
Great.
Literally, the only reason Disney still exists is because of the parks. But that's a rant for another day.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on for hours about that. But anyway, there's that. Speaking of Disney, I forgot to watch the trailer, but it's here. Inside Out 2. We got the trailer for it.
I don't like it.
Wow. And we were, if people remember our second or third episode, we ranked all the Pixar movies. I believe your number one was Inside Out. So this is interesting. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah. So one of the things I loved about Inside Out is in the realm of psychology. It was surprisingly accurate to a lot
Some
of stuff.
background. Brennan is a doctor.
Oh yeah. Yep. I got my PhD and I feel the best use of my time is doing a podcast.
Hey man, there are people with way more with like 3 PhDs doing podcasts. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they are, but I'm sure they exist.
Yes. But yeah, so it was really accurate to the field of psychology in a lot of areas, especially with the core emotions that they had, because there were a series of studies done, or maybe just one study done, or something where like it found the universal emotions shared across all cultures, and there were like 6 or 7 of them, 5 of them being joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. I know that one of the other ones was surprise. There may have been one more. There may have not been one more. But anyway, so all of that, super, super accurate. That was awesome. Now it feels like they're just shoving in new emotions, being like, yeah, we'll just do this now. And it's like, okay, but I liked it because of kind of how accurate it was underneath everything. Kind of feels like this won't be super accurate anymore, and it might lose some charm based on that potentially. It kind of feels like a cash grab more than anything else
Duh.
to me.
Only
Yeah,
reason
it's
you
like,
make a sequel.
yeah, I mean, you can have cash grabs that like have their own stories that they are not cash grabs. You can make sequels
Sequel cash grab, same thing.
that are trying to tell like a new unique story along the same vein here. Doesn't really feel like they're trying to do that. I don't like it. It
Well,
could be good. I might eat my words. I still think they should have taken our sequel idea, Inside Out of Tui, but unfortunately, does not seem like they went in that direction.
we've named 2 episodes Inside Out of Tui, and the second one was Inside Out of Tui.
Yeah.
Um,
The name of this episode should be Inside Out of Tui, but we have like a 3 where an E is supposed to be somewhere in the
exactly.
name.
No, what did I say earlier? That was gonna be the name of the episode.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, Inside Out of Tui. But it did. It became the biggest animated launch and animated trailer launch in Disney history, with the trailer earning 157 million views in 24 hours and 78 million TikTok views. So it's a movie. I have not seen the sequel. Well, so I'm not the biggest fan of Inside Out. I think I've made that known for the most part.
Wow.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Brennan and I actually had surprisingly different lists.
Yeah.
Except I think we both had Ratatouille like in the top 2, which is I think why we called it Inside Out of 2.
As we should.
But yeah, so there's that. Continuing on the Disney trend, we got it's not like Star Wars news, but it was a Star Wars opinion. The author Timothy Zahn, the guy who originally wrote the Thrawn, he's written all the Thrawn books, believes that the New Republic will not be able to protect the Chiss ascendancy, so Thrawn stuck with the Empire, and I think that's a load of absolute bullshit. That's a stupid reason.
I also do. I think we tentatively disagreed about why we thought the reason was so bad in our messaging here, but we both agree it's a dumb reason that was not supported in the show whatsoever.
Not even nope.
So
yeah, you basically said, "Well, that doesn't make any sense. How does he know about something. The New Republic?" And I was like, "Doesn't matter. It's been 10 years. He probably knows. How did he know about the Empire?" Huh? He didn't actually. He went expecting the Republic, and he just found the Empire.
Wait, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, I haven't read all the books, but it was like, oh yeah, he just doesn't like the New Republic, and it's like, dude, you've been in a different galaxy forever, and you didn't have like a cell phone or a communicator or anything. I know that because you had to hire 3 witches to kind of act as a radio to only one other person.
I like the
So
way you're phrasing this.
I don't think you were getting like real time government updates at all. I don't know what's telling me that, but ugh. Mhm.
Ring, 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 ring. The witch
Yep.
phone. Coyote versus Acme. You've mentioned it a
Yes.
couple times, or ACME. You've mentioned it a couple times. It looks like it was a Looney Tunes
Yeah,
thing.
I haven't mentioned it here, I don't think. I've just mentioned it when we've been talking back and
You know,
forth.
it's all melted together.
Yeah, that's fair.
So before the episode started, Brennan had mentioned Coyote versus Acme,
Mhm.
which looks to be like a Wily Coyote from the Looney Tunes versus
Yep.
the Acme, which I'm pretty sure is an explosives company.
Yeah, it's like the company that he orders all of his stuff from in the
Okay.
cartoons. Well, and builds all the contraptions that go like horribly wrong.
Sure. It's supposed to star John Cena, Lana Condor, and Will Forte. Produced by James Gunn. I think it finished. Like they finished the movie, and then Warner Brothers was like, "Well, actually, you
Yeah.
fired," and it's gone now.
Yep. Well, so it was on. Um, it came out that it was being shelved for tax purposes for like less than it cost to make the movie, is what it seemed like. But it was like Warner Brothers. They were like, we just want this thing axed. It like there were studios that were planning on like bidding on it. It was being shopped around. It got like the entire time from what I've seen, it got consistently high test screenings, and a couple of critics called it like one of the best animated films they've seen since Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Some high
So
praise.
yeah, it looked super promising, and they were just like, nah, animated movie garbage. Let's just get rid of this thing before we embarrass ourselves by
Well,
releasing this masterpiece.
we already knew that Discover was it Warner Discovery, whatever the hell they're called now,
Mhm.
Discover Warner. We already knew that they're run by a bunch of boomers.
Mhm.
They've just confirmed it even
Yeah.
harder than they already did.
So
Oh
yeah,
god,
so
it's so
that's what had
dumb.
happened before, and everyone was pretty upset. A lot of the like behind the scenes people, they had like they they put together a reel of like behind the scenes shots and stuff that was up. You'd watch it. A lot of stuff looked incredible from that. Warner Brothers issued a copyright claim on the footage and took it down. They took it offline. It was like, how can you do that for something that you've shelved? You shouldn't be able to exercise copyright claims over this now. What the heck? Um, allegedly, Warner Brothers has undone some stuff with that, and they are now tentatively planning to sell it to a different studio instead.
Interesting.
Which I don't know
How does that
why they'd
work?
be allowed to do that if it had already been shelved for tax purposes. But I was like,
Tax
sure
season's
they
over, I
didn't just.
guess.
I was like, surely they didn't do that because of fan backlash, even though there's a lot of critic backlash in that too in their decision. Because for Batgirl, there's a lot of backlash for that, and they didn't reverse that decision at all. From what I've seen after that, it came out that a lot of like major filmmakers and film studios that had meetings set up with Warner Brothers, they all canceled those meetings. They like removed them from their calendar, and Warner Brothers was losing so much potential business in that they were like, "Hey, maybe we screwed up." So
Dang, that's wild.
maybe they're seeing that just shelving things for tax purposes isn't a smart business decision for a movie studio. Hopefully, this
It's
is a good sign.
due to internal feedback.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I'm hoping that this movie will get a release, even if it doesn't end up being like a super great movie or anything. It's just like, why would like we need to put like if it's something that people were this passionate about, get it like don't like there should never ever be a movie that's made. It has the creative process
Right.
I like I just hate when things are viewed as like bottom lines, ones and zeros. instead of like this is a work of art that a lot of people got together to make here, and it should always be accessible to some degree when you
Well,
have
look,
like movies like that. Like, just why would you not want it out?
it's not even just in the realm of art. If I worked on a project and like for a while, and like 2 years, let's say I work on a project 2 years in my company, and the owners came up to me and said, "Yeah, no, we don't want to do this anymore." I would be pissed.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you know, I just threw away 2 years of my life working on this great project, and then you're just like, "Nah, I'm good.
yeah,
We can't. Money.
yep,
I'm quitting then if you care more about money."
yeah, right.
But
Yeah,
yeah. And what
and
then
the fact that James
honest. Go ahead.
Gunn, who is
Right.
like
Yeah.
in charge of DC for Warner Brothers, his name being attached to a project wasn't enough to save the project right off the bat. That's wild.
Well, and then it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like
And you think
it's
that Looney Tunes,
classic. It doesn't
yeah,
matter what the hell happens in the movie. You're gonna make money on Looney Tunes.
that should
You
be
saw that dumpster fire that was what's it called?
the
With LeBron James.
the Flash. Oh, Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Yeah,
Or Space Jam 2, whatever.
yeah,
The Looney Tunes will sell every time.
yeah.
It's the Looney Tunes.
Like exactly, like that should be one of the easiest cash grabs that they could release. And also, some people have pointed this out. This is the studio that spent like $300 million on the Flash without batting an eye, hardly.
They should have
And
batted an eye a lot.
oh,
Should have
yeah,
batted
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of eyes.
They should have 100% batted an eye a lot. But they're gonna be chill with the Flash. But then, like the Coyote movie, that's the one where you're like, absolutely not.
Well, and then whatever studio ends up picking it up is gonna make them a ton of money.
Yeah.
So like they would
Or
be able to they'd be able to cover their taxes if they just
what
released the fucking movie.
what I'm hoping, and I
It's
am
gonna
so
backfire on
hoping
Warner
this.
so
Yeah,
badly.
I'm hoping that in whatever Warner has set up right now, they're not allowed to profit from it at all.
Oh
So
yeah,
whoever gets the rights to
all that.
the movie, I hope it's a smash hit for them, and
Oh
Warner
yeah,
does not see a penny.
no, and they have to make whoever buys it, they have to make sure of it. And I want it to be like a smaller company, like a you know like an
Yeah,
independent, like an indie company.
it looks like the three leaders for it right now that I've seen are Apple, Amazon, and Netflix. So unfortunately, not the small ones here, but yeah,
Well, you know what? I want Amazon to get it mostly because I can actually watch it. Then
very
if
nice.
the other two get it, I can't watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have Netflix anymore either,
No, fuck that.
so hoping it's not that one.
I mean, it's $5 more if I want to watch it on Apple. Not that big a deal. Did you know Peanuts is owned by Apple now? Like the movie rights?
Yeah, I
Weird.
do remember that.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah. But anyway, then I think CBS like owns like the airing rights to it. Anyway,
Interesting.
lastly, last piece of news is almost an hour and a half thing. The first teaser for Netflix live action Avatar: The Last Airbender has arrived and it will premiere February 22nd. I'm not a big Avatar fan, mostly just because I've never seen it. Are you? Do you have any
Oh yeah,
reactions to this?
I've
Did you see the trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen the whole Avatar: The Last Airbender show and part of Legends of Korra.
Which I've heard mixed reviews about.
Yeah, Legends of Korra. So far, I'm liking. It's like a big step away from Avatar, but you can still very much feel that it's in the same world.
Well, most of the mixed reviews I see are from men with fragile egos. So,
but yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, I like all of the world, the realm. The live action trailer, it was neat. I'm looking forward to it. Wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. There's stuff with like Zuko's scar, for example, like in the cartoon, it was like half his face was like
Yeah.
pretty messed up. And in the live action, it looks like he just kind of has like a black eye almost, and that's like it.
Interesting.
And it's so it's like some things I'm wishing they're doing more with that. For like a lot of the casting looks great. Other parts of the casting where I'm like, I feel like somewhere it got lost. I feel like somewhere there was like a compromise made. But yeah, looks good. A lot of this stuff looks cool. I feel like it's gonna get really complicated here at some point, if it's not complicated already, where it's like when someone says, have you watched Avatar? It's like, okay, do you mean the movie with the blue people, the animated show, the movie based on the animated show, or the live or the show based on the animated show? I feel like they're doing a whole lot with things without changing the name as much as I would like the name to be changed.
Hold on, it's a show?
Really?
And then it was a movie.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
no.
it's a live action show based on the show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which that's also kind of a
When
weird
did Netflix take a page out of Disney's book? Why are they doing this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I'm worried they go in some kind of different direction from the actual animated show, because it would feel really weird to just have like a one for one. Like, here's animated, but then also here's live action. If you don't want to associate with that baby show anymore, it's like if it's the same thing, then it's like kind of that's the point here.
Yeah, and Netflix does not have a great track record of live action and adaptations, especially of anime or anime-esque shows like Avatar is. Because I've heard awful, awful things about that Cowboy Bebop live action show. I've heard it's awful. But I've heard this, but like the original show is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, they did One Piece recently, and I heard pretty strong things about
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
So I
Good
think
or
that's
bad?
in
Or just strong?
positive.
Okay, well maybe they're getting better then.
But yeah, because like with the Avatar show, it seemed like they were striving for authenticity early on. Recently here, it seems like they're taking some steps away from that. So I think it'll just kind of depend on the final product here. I was kind of really excited for that initially. Now I'm kind of just like, sure, I'll check it out. What I'm really hoping for is it just drives more people to the Avatar fan base as a whole, because I know there are like animated movies in the Avatar universe coming up. I think the first one's like 2025.
Yeah, because they have the whole new Avatar Studios, right? Over
So
Paramount Plus. What the hell is it called now? Oh yeah, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I'm really hoping that it just kind of helps make money for those movies, honestly, because I would love to see more stuff in the animated realm, especially because it seems like what the first movie will be. Because wait, so like you've seen all the Avatar, or you don't care about
I just
Avatar?
haven't.
Do you care?
I want to. I just haven't.
Oh, okay. So I won't
I saw a
spoil
little bit as a kid, but like
stuff.
I can't remember anything.
Wait, so are you okay if I spoil something, or
Yeah, I don't care. I
do
won't
you not?
remember.
All right, okay. So yeah, because there's a basically how this series ends is like Zuko, his mom is out there somewhere. He thinks I think people thought she was dead, but then she wasn't dead. She was just sent off somewhere, and like anyway, when the Avatar series ends, it wraps up every arc super nicely. But it's just the Avatar and Zuko, and they're teaming up, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go find your mom, and then they never touch that arc again at all. Like it was just because like the next show is Korra, and Korra, they do not touch on that whatsoever. But so apparently what this movie is going to focus on is like the journey of Aang and Zuko trying to find Zuko's mom. So that would be awesome. that's something I would love to see here. It's the live action show. It's like I'm sure that'll be great, but if I already have something in a show format here, why do I need the same story also
Right.
in a show format? It's like, if it was like a movie or they turn it into like, because it's like books being adapted into TV shows being adapted into movies, movies being adapted into video games. It's like change the format. Sure, that works for me. I'm fine with that. You're doing the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to get behind, even though a lot of the visuals look really, really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like the live action Lion King.
Yeah.
What's the point? You gave me the exact same movie.
Yeah, except for
but worse.
Oh wait,
apparently.
yeah. It was the same movie, right? There was no,
I don't know.
like,
I've never seen it. That's just what I've been told. I've been told it was almost like word for word the same movie.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know why they would do stuff like that then. Well, I do know why. It's money. It's always money. But yeah.
It's the root of all evil of strife and upheaval.
I think I had one more piece of news. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. Oh no, the Garfield trailer came out. Yeah.
A live action?
Yep. No, not live action. An animated one
where did they bring Bill Murray back?
No, guess who the voice of Garfield is now?
Who?
Think Mario movie.
Oh god. Oh no, that's right. I do remember here. We covered that. It was what's his name? Not James Patterson. That's an author.
Yeah, it was Mark Hamill. Wait, yeah.
Oh yeah. Chris Pratt. Mark Hamill as Chris Pratt as.
Yep. So
Mark Hamill's got to try on some different personas sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Mark Hamill does a great job of playing Chris Pratt doing an impression of Garfield the cat.
They should have brought back Bill Murray.
But yeah,
like 3D animation or the 2D?
3D. I don't know if I'll see that movie at all. It looks
bad,
like a pretty standard animated kids movie here. So
yeah, well, that's what you get nowadays.
It heavily features Garfield's father, is what it looks like from the trailer. Which I don't know if that's a new character for the movie or
that doesn't sound real.
If Garfield's always just had a very large dad.
Well, I'm sure he's had a dad. He's had to be born.
Yeah, but as a character in the show, like are cartoon characters ever
really There's been a show?
Movie? Oh no, I don't know what I'm talking about now.
No, I thought there's always been a comic strip. Like a 4-panel comic strip.
Comic strip, 3-panel comic strip.
Sometimes in color.
Yeah. Okay,
look,
now
I just want to know if Odie's in it. Is Odie in it?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I care about. I didn't like Odie in the live action version.
Now
he was a real dog.
Oh yeah, I do remember that kinda. That's wild.
Those are bad movies.
My brain feels fried now after about all that news. And we have
I briefly want to go over Loki and
we have the entire season 2 of Loki to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the whole thing. Same thing happened over and over again. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's not do the play-by-play.
No, we'll just do an overarching. What did you think? Yeah. So, Brennan, ask me what I thought about this show.
Wally, what did you think about Loki season 2?
I hated it. Every single second.
Really?
I did not like the show. I take it back. The last episode was really good. I hated episodes 1 through 5. Wow. So much. None of it made any sense. Wow. The same thing happened over and over again. I mean, that happened in episode 6 too, but it just seemed pointless.
Wow.
It seemed like a pointless show to me. To be honest. I'm usually not this critical, and I didn't like the second half of Loki. It's season 1.
Yeah.
This seemed like a continuation of that, and you can tell me because you actually watched episodes like 5 and 6, I think, right before episode 1 came out or something like that.
Yeah, I watched episode 6 right before episode 1 of 6 of 1 of 2.
Yeah. Sylvie's character made no sense, or maybe it did. I don't know. I just didn't like any minute of it. Except nice. like I said, except episode 6. Episode 6 was phenomenal. Okay. Everything else is terrible.
Okay.
Brennan, what did you think of the show?
Perfect. I love this show.
Oh, I love when this
Yeah.
happens. This does not
Yeah.
happen very often.
Yeah, right.
Except the last time I think this happened was Thor: Love and Thunder when you didn't like it, I loved it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that
Okay,
movie.
okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I did not like this show.
I
But
think
continue.
season 2 has cemented this as I think my favorite MCU show as a whole here out of all of them.
I love when this happens.
Uh-huh.
Why? Okay,
Like,
so what did it for you?
Episode here, I'll say episodes 1, 4, 5, and 6. I loved. I thought those were
Episode 6 was
perfect.
phenomenal.
Those were
I will give you that.
flawless. 2 and 3 didn't really care for.
No.
But 1, 4, 5, and 6 I loved. I thought it was a master class in character building for Loki. They finally got back to character building here instead of just, oh, look at guy you like going through events being the exact same. I thought that we saw a lot of development on his side. It told an overarching story. There was actually a conclusion, not the usual conclusions that Marvel has. Like, the pacing felt fantastic the entire way throughout. If you completely ignore episodes 2 and 3 and the horrible pacing that I thought they had,
Three,
the cinematography.
1/3 of the show sucked. The other 2/3 are fantastic.
Yeah, but I also felt like it now because like I don't view it as season 1 and season 2. I view it as just one
Loki. Yeah.
show of 12 episodes. And I think 12 episodes is what Marvel needs because it gave it room to have good episodes and bad ones, which I think any good show needs to have some good episodes that you love and some bad episodes that on a rewatch you can view as skippable. And I feel like when you have just 6 episodes, you don't really have that freedom because it impacts the show so heavily. When it's 1 out of 12 instead, that's better.
I think you can skip episodes 3 and 4 in season 1. I'm sorry, 4 and 5 in season 1, and then 2 through 5 in season 6. And sorry, season 2. And we'll get a cohesive story.
I do not agree with that at all.
But again, well, okay, so okay, maybe you have to include 1.
Yeah.
In season. So okay, so 1, 2,
you also
3,
have
6,
I feel like
1, 6.
you cannot skip from 1 to 6. You cannot possibly tell me that if you skip from 1 to 6, you'll have a cohesive story. But
okay. Yeah, I guess you're right, but I don't know. But the things that happened in, I think was it 4 and 5, happened like several times in number 6.
Kinda.
Not kind of. The first 20 minutes of the episode was just the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different. It was the definition of insanity.
Brennan. Yeah. You're not going like from beat to beat though. You're just like revisiting all of those moments from time slipping. And if you haven't seen that beats, then you won't be able to pick up on the significance. I don't know. I just liked it a lot. I felt like it was it just felt like they finally kind of got their putting together, and I feel like
except not just the 2 and 3,
not just except for episode 2 and 3. Like I thought those were good for character development. Still, I just felt like the pacing was so far off, and it's like, and the thing that bugged me is going from season 1 episode 6 to season 2 episode 1. It's like the perfect. It does not feel like a change of seasons at all. Right where they leave you in the previous episode is right where you start in the current episode. I thought that was perfect.
Is
going from episode 1 to 2 was a nightmare because I was like, that's not where it ended. I feel like I was scrambling. I feel like I had major whiplash like the entire episode, being like, what did I miss?
And I texted you that. I was in the middle of watching episode 2, and like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And you're like, did I miss something? And you're just like, yeah, that's how I felt. I'm like, okay.
It was the same thing from 2 to 3 too. It was the exact same whiplash thing for me of like, what is going on? You have no idea how stoked I was when finally episode 4 came on and it picked up the exact same place episode 3 left off. I said, finally, that drove me up the wall. But I still think some important notes happen, and then it was just fine for me. It felt like an average show. If Loki season 2 was like standalone from season 1 completely, probably wouldn't have liked it anywhere near as much here. But just it being a continuation from the story of season 1, being able to view it as one complete show,
Like if
love
they
that.
went from episode 6 to episode 2, like they just went foregone for goat. They forgot they didn't like episode 2 is episode 1 now. You probably wouldn't like it as much.
It 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 depends. It depends on how that actually looks in application here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, one of the other keynotes that I'll mention here is I think this is arguably the only show where the entire cast where there is an entire cast of main characters and you see them all go through character development over the course of the show as a whole. Loki, Tobias, B-15, and Sylvie, you can track all of their journeys over the series, and not one of them ends up at the same spot that they were at the start of the episode.
Did B-15 get character development? I feel like she just kind of like zipped in and out. Like she just be there.
Yeah. She because at the start she was like hardcore like TV. She's like, I don't know why we're doing what we're doing here, and then at the end she's like one of the people in charge of like the TVA.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that.
So yeah, I felt like, and I can't think of a single other show that had that. Every other MCU show has been like, the main character might change and grow, but the side supporting characters, they're just kind of there witnessing the events, and that's it.
I think the best example of the latter thing you said is WandaVision.
Yeah. Yep.
Like Wanda and Vision changed a little. I mean, Vision's dead, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean,
everyone else, Darcy, what's his name? Not what's
the magician guy?
No. Well, kind of.
The guy's like, I work
the
in
guy
the
who plays
FBI.
Jim in The Office.
Yeah. Him. Yep.
He again just kind of there watching.
Yep.
I mean, even
they don't change.
Even oh my god, I can't remember her name. She's in the Marvels.
Monica
Rambeau. She's kind of a character. She's just kind of there too. She's a little bit of character growth, but like nothing.
She got powers, and that was it. That was the only thing that changed about her character. Is she's the exact same, but has powers now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I love. This show was a lot because my house is undergoing some work, so like my whole entertainment system setup is like out of commission. It was for episodes 5 and 6. So fortunately my dad lives kind of close by. He has a great home theater setup as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday nights we'd hang out with him. We'd watch the show over there. It was episodes 5 and 6, so he enjoyed it. He had no idea what was going on the entire time. And I feel when you get into like time travel shows like that, that's going to be a lot of people's experiences with this show. And I do kind of get what you're saying about it being repetitive in a lot of areas. I like time travel shows like that, like Primer, the movie. I don't know if like you've ever seen Primer before. That's all Primer is for the most part, and I think it is phenomenal. But
yeah, I love sci-fi, but I'm not the biggest like time travel kind of guy.
Stuff like that gets kind of rough, and I feel like if I wasn't so invested in the characters the way I am, the way they kind of went through some episodes may have lost me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because I really like the idea, the concept, the characters, and everything, and because I really connected with this story, I think this is easily number one for all MCU shows for me here. This season 1 by itself, No. Season 2 by itself, no. These two combined, 12 episodes, all focusing on the same story, 100% yes.
Yeah, Loki, out of all the characters in the MCU, has changed absolutely the most.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's incredible to just kind of like go back and kind of think about from when we first saw him in Thor all the way up to where he was in episode 6 of Loki season 2 or episode 12, whatever you want to call it. My question to you is,
yes.
before you continue,
okay,
is this show better as a binge? Or would it be better as a binge? Because being able to go through all 12 episodes at once.
I don't think so, because I feel like with
Really?
the time travel stuff, you're gonna get like super burned out. I feel like it does have to be watched in kind of close proximity, but
Not the 2
not
years that we had.
a binge watch. Yeah, I feel like a 2-year break between seasons, that's probably a bit much. But yeah, just take yourself through the show. Don't watch too much all at once. Give it some room to breathe,
And maybe
and you'll be fine.
maybe that's why I didn't like it so much, because I binged it all. Not all of it. I watched episode 6 separately, but I like watched all of it through
Interesting.
in a like relatively short amount of time during a day, just because I wanted to catch up and do an episode, and then we ended up not doing that episode.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it very much, because like it was just so much going on in such a little amount of time. And it's like,
yeah,
So
I really feel like you need time for the episodes to breathe. Like after episode 4, I remember when watching episode 4, and it just like there's the time loom explodes, and there's like that bright white light. You see Loki's terrified face before everything was white, and there's no sound, and it just ends, like it just hard cut ends, and it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to wait a week to figure out what happened there. That was top tier. That was top tier. I'm surprised that Marvel was actually able to commit to something like that. I mean, that was like the snap in Infinity War.
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it felt the exact same way. Also, the people turning into like time spaghetti or whatever, episode 5, that was horrifying and fantastic.
Sylvie, I know you said you liked her character development. I was not a fan, because for me, it didn't make any sense for her, Sylvie, who has a plan to kill the He Who Remains, to just go off and work at a McDonald's.
Yeah, that was kind of the
though it is very Thanos-esque, whereas Thanos killed the world and then went and just existed on a planet, growing being a farmer.
Yeah, it was like I wish we had more time with Sylvie to really see her perspective. Because it like also how it was kind of structured in episode 2, it kind of felt rushed, kind of felt a bit forced, felt very heavily like McDonald's paid them a ton of money. But yeah, there's something else I was gonna say. I can't remember what it was now. What were we talking about before?
Bingeability of the show?
No, there was something else.
Oh. I did really like the scene where she goes into the record store and she pulls a record. And
that was fantastic.
I thought that was a really, really good scene. I thought it was really well done. That's episode 5, I think.
The question that I had, are you kidding me? Hold on.
Oh, sorry, did I make you forget?
No. In like the last episode where Loki goes out into the time loom, do you remember because I don't think I sent you this tweet. Do you remember like the line that he says there, where like he closes the door and it's Sylvie and Mobius on the other side, and he says, "For you, for all of us," and then like Mobius says no, and Sylvie says, "Loki." That was a line idea that Tom Hiddleston like improvised into the script, and he chose those lines because those are the exact lines that he says at the end of the first Thor movie, where like Odin's standing over him and Loki's like hanging on, and like Loki says like, "For you, for all of us," and Odin just says oh, Loki. Loki decides to release himself and go die essentially, but then he finds himself working for Thanos and all that. But it's
wow.
such a good example of how Loki's character came full circle, where now he's like actually doing like a self-sacrifice thing instead of like an arrogant,
Yeah.
entitled, like, glorious purpose, where he decided to improvise those lines and he got it. So Mobius and Sylvie essentially end up saying "Oh Loki" in the exact same way, but for very different reasons.
Yeah.
So
It'll
that
be
was
interesting.
stellar. Sylvie's character I did like more. I kind of felt it kind of seemed like they didn't really know what to do with Sylvie's character as much this season, but I do like how they steered away from the romance angle and
Yeah, that was weird
made
the
her
first time.
just a friend of Loki's. It read a lot better this season than I feel it did last season.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like they may have gotten some criticism for that
Internal
and kind of
criticism.
yeah and like walked it back, which I am more than okay with. That's I think the only reason that I really like it being split out into 2 seasons is because it gave them time to take in feedback
Yeah.
and adjust their plan for moving forward.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great.
Yeah, like I said, I really liked episode 6. The character growth just in episode 6 alone for Loki was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, the thing where it's almost played like a joke, it's almost played like a bit where like Loki's like, oh, how much time would it take to like learn all the physics and mathematics required for this? And they're like decades, maybe centuries, and it just cuts like the time part of like centuries later.
Uh-huh.
Like that's almost like a comedic thing, but like my jaw dropped out of terror for that. I was like, Loki's been at this for centuries without like stopping, without rest, without anything. That is crazy to me here, and it really shows like his change and like determination, where he's not looking for instant gratification. He's not looking for an instant win. He is giving like everything to this here.
Yeah. The montage was a very Marvel touch, which I'd watched Loki, and then like it'd been a couple days, but like when I saw the montage and in the Marvels, like man, Marvel loves their montages with music, and the music was so weird with this particular montage.
You know what?
Loki.
And that might be why it seems so repetitive to you. It like if you had to watch them all back to back to back, I can see that completely of getting really tired of seeing the same scenes over and over and over. I think what was so satisfying to me is like going from week to week and being reminded of what happened the previous weeks through like that montage, through other scenes. Seeing it all back to back to back might have given it a very different taste in my mouth.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I consumed, what was it? Andor the same way. And I didn't like that show either.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So maybe I should just stop binge watching shows that are more than 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Maybe I just do it to myself. But no, like I said, I did really like episode 6, and it did tie everything together really well. It was a really good ending to the show. It's just overall not a big fan of the show. That's okay. Yeah. I mean, not everyone's gonna like everything. I mean,
yeah. I get that.
You know, real quick, do you have anything else to say about that?
Let me think. I think that's everything from my end here. Oh, one last note. Just when he finally kind of time slips back to the fight at the end of season 1, I thought that was fantastic.
That was a great scene.
Bringing all of that in, and then we finally talks to like He Who Remains, and there's like the whole confrontation. And he's like, "Oh, is this your first time? Haha, you learn to pause time later." Like he actually pauses time, and it's like this is not our first conversation. And He Who Remains is like, "Oh, I'm impressed now." That was great.
That was great. Yeah, I really Jonathan Majors. This wasn't his best outing. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of what was his name, Victor Timely.
I didn't really.
I didn't like him. I didn't get it.
Timely either.
So kind of insulting a little bit. and then but then when he stepped into this version of Kang,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
he knocked He Who Remains out of the park again. And I
Yeah.
do like how it provided context, like the line in season 1 where he just told Sylvie, "See you soon." This is what he meant.
Mhm.
It's exactly what he meant. And I love when shows they set something up early on and then it pays off. And I
Yeah.
feel like Marvel hasn't done that well with their shows
Not lately.
because
Oh,
their
yeah.
shows are only 6 episodes here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like having there be more time for a setup than looping back around to it.
Literally.
I thought that was perfect. The only thing that bugged me about the fight scene, and maybe I'm forgetting something about how Sylvie's powers work or whatever, but why couldn't Loki during any part of that fight scene be like, "Hey, read my mind and see like what I've seen,"
Mhm.
so then you know how you would act and you know it's not a trick and you can just take a time out from this so we can talk.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been the easiest thing. I don't know if like because Loki's a god, if he could have tricked her with false memories or whatever here, and that's why he didn't try it. But I feel like in one of the attempts, you have to try that.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I thought so. Yeah, final thoughts. Big ol' thumbs up from me.
Medium. Medium thumbs up. You've convinced me a little bit. You've convinced me
Okay.
that I'm the problem.
No.
Thanks for
You're fine.
gaslighting me, Brennan.
Uh,
Um,
but yeah, so I'm also excited that it reads as like a conclusion, that there isn't necessarily
Yep.
more of this story that needs to be told. There are other directions they can go in as a whole where they can bring in elements of this, but it's not. There's no immediate question of what's next that I feel you get from so many Marvel projects here.
do you think we see Timekeeper Loki in
Uh,
Secret Wars?
uh, people have been referring to him as a god of stories Loki now. But I think yes. Like
Okay.
I think there's like I think well, okay. Ordinarily, I would say
Here we go.
yes, absolutely 100%. But with things like multiverse of madness, where we were like, oh yeah, duh, this is a multiverse thing. Of course, it's going to be in multiverse of madness, and none of that was true here. I will say that I would like to see this adaptation of Loki in either Secret Wars or the Kang Dynasty, one of those movies here. I don't know if we will. I say 50% chance, which in the realm of Marvel probably knocks it down to like a 20% chance. But
And it won't be for at
we'll
least
see.
16 years.
Yeah.
Especially if they decide to go the way they want to go with Kang and Doctor Doom. Again, if Fantastic Four ever happens.
Yeah, so we will just have to see. Anyway, are there any final thoughts that you have or time to move right on?
I have nothing enough to say.
Perfect.
You know what to say. If you have nothing good to, no, I'm kidding. No, again, it's not my favorite. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
The Marvels. Overarching thoughts.
Wally, what are your overarching thoughts about the Marvels?
I love this movie. It was so good, and I hate that certain people, hated the first movie so much they're not even gonna give this one a fair shake.
It's gotten some really bad reviews, even just from critics, which has surprised me because Marvel has had some bad movies here recently. I don't think this is one of them here. Like
I don't think it's in the bottom half either.
No, I don't think that this is a perfect movie by any means.
No, right.
But like this is a solid movie in my opinions. And like I'll go rewatch it at some point. Maybe I'll notice things that I don't like as much here, but as a whole, after first viewing, I was like, yeah, that was a good watch. I feel satisfied. It doesn't feel like I just snacked on a bunch of junk food or anything. It it feels like that was a good quality serving of a movie. And I honestly think that one of the things that helped it out a lot was the pacing. Just that it was under 2 hours and they paced it well. Uh, under 2 hours. That's when I think I could rewatch a lot easier than like the 2.5 hour Marvel movies, the 3 hour Marvel movies, even the ones that I like. So some nights I just don't have time to sit down and watch a whole thing.
I love Endgame. It's hard to watch it.
Yeah. Like getting one that tells such a solid story under 2 hours. Great.
I don't think they try to shove too much into it either. And it's very easy with a movie that takes place in space to shove a lot of stuff into it.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens with books all the time too that I've read. Like they're, it's a 230-page book, but they fit 850 pages of stuff in it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But
and it felt very much like a comic book as well, I would say. Little bits, little jokes and stuff like they have. It felt very much like a comic book.
Yeah. And the people who we've seen before in shows, who are most of the people in the movie were ones we only saw in shows in the past.
Yeah.
Why can I never remember her name?
Monica
Rambeau, who technically we've seen in a movie, but like much younger version of herself.
Yeah.
We've only seen the adult version in the show, and we've only seen Kamala Khan in a show, who, by the way, was phenomenal in this movie.
She did so well. She was easily my favorite part. Her and her whole family.
Her family was great.
Like easily my favorite part. That and just the chemistry that all the characters on screen had with each other were just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's always hard to judge. I mean, this goes back to when they first did the Avengers movie. It's hard to judge how, when you bring all these kind of characters together who've never really been together, when you bring them together and you see what kind of chemistry that you have to have with them. And they all, like you said, they had phenomenal chemistry. Monica, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel, all of them fantastic. And they very easily could have made Kamala extremely annoying by making her fangirl the entire time.
Yeah,
and they gave her moments, and that was fine. And it made so much sense for her as a character, but it was not annoying ever.
Yeah, it was never overwhelming or like in your face or anything like that.
Yeah, and then like you said, the family, which again they could have very well just been a completely useless part of the story, and they didn't add a whole lot to the story, but they were a good comedic escape from the story.
Yeah. They never felt obnoxious or in your face or whatever. Probably one of my favorite bits from the movie, like thinking back, was when the dad was explaining retirement options. One of the people who worked on Saber, and it was like going through everything, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I had never saving for retirement here," and he was like, "Yeah, it's like, how old are you?" And the guy was like 326 or something, and the dad was like, "Oh, okay, oops, sorry."
and then the son was like, "Oh, me too."
It was just great. And then when Nick Fury and them were like all in the pod going down, and then Khan is praying, and I don't remember the language, so I'm not gonna say something and like it'll be wrong.
No. Well, they're Pakistani, so I don't know what language they speak in Pakistan.
Yeah, but then it's like Nick Fury was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm praying." And he kind of like stops or whatever. And Nick Fury's like, "Hey, don't stop, keep it up." And then he goes back to praying, and Nick Fury's like, "Amen, amen," as they're like going down. That was such a funny bit. It's like all the characters had placement there.
Yeah.
And like the pacing just was so good. And like the stakes I felt like were the same the whole way through the movie. They didn't do that stupid thing that I hate where at the very end they like really like escalate the stakes for no reason at all.
And the stakes were high, but they didn't seem super high.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Because I think they're just pretty consistent the whole way through,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's very cosmic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And like I said, it's not going to get a fair shake. And apparently, it did like historically bad at the box office. And I
yeah,
think, unfortunately, there are those fans out there who just won't see it because how they're crusading against
yeah,
Brie Larson. Because
and
I don't know.
and also what someone pointed out as well, which I didn't even catch, but I was like, oh yeah, uh, is the entire time during like the Marvel's marketing, the strike was going on, so the actors weren't able to promote
No.
anything themselves, which that could not have helped the movie whatsoever here.
No.
Um, but yeah, let's see. I'm trying to remember everything that I've stored in my brain about this here. But I love that it tied in so many old arcs. We've finally got to see Tabor
Mm-hmm.
like on screen. We got the jump points in another movie. I think they've only been in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's been it.
So, funny story about the jump points.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was in Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh.
For whatever reason, they
Oh
had combined in my head.
no. There was the Star Wars episode 9. I don't remember
Well,
what
that's
I.
what it was. It was Episode 9 because I saw that
Yeah.
in the theaters. I didn't see anything else.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, those like combined in my head.
Yeah.
And when I went back to watch Episode 9, I was like, this isn't where that was from. And then I watched this, and like, oh my God, it's from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I
Yep.
couldn't for the life of me figure out where it was from for the longest time until
Oh
this movie.
man.
The bad guy in this movie. Of course, they killed her. They always
Yeah.
do.
Mm,
Decent bad guy,
That
though.
was yeah. To the realm of things, I wasn't as much a fan of in this movie here. I always hate the thing with the villain where it's like I'm a villain, but I'm doing this one thing for my people. I do anything for my people here. Oh, the good guy's offering me a totally realistic way to actually save my people without like destroying the universe as a whole. Oh, I'll take that. Obviously, I'm trying to help my people. Psych, I'm evil for no reason whatsoever. That was the one thing I was like, come on. But like,
They did do that. Also,
yeah,
when did Kamala Khan get powers? I thought they were all through the bangle.
yeah. See,
I was confused about that.
yeah, see, I had to think about that for a while because like it had been a while since I had seen
Over a year.
like
Yeah.
Miss Marvel. But yeah, I did uh remember the explanation that they used in show. I totally forgot about it, but it's like the Bengals have their own set of powers, but when she put them on, it activated the
Oh, that's
mutant
right. That's right.
gene
That's right. I do
inside
remember
of her because she's the MCU's first
mutant.
mutant. And that's also like that's my other nitpick with the movie is I wish they had spent a little while longer in the beginning introducing Miss Marvel's character for people who hadn't seen the show. They did a better job than in WandaVision to Doctor Strange in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have just spent a little more time actually walking through the events of Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
I
at
feel
least
like it
they
would have
did
explained
mention
things
it
a lot clearer.
when Monica, I think after the fight, Monica was at the house. They're just like, "Oh, you're the hero who saved Jersey City."
Yeah.
At
And
least they
at
mentioned it a little.
the very start they had like the hand drawn
The
like
cartoon that was awesome.
yep
That was great.
yeah,
I
that was
love
great.
that.
I wish they did that with more of how she got her powers.
Yeah.
That I would have loved. That I thought would have been perfect. They do it a little bit there. They do it a little bit when Monica arrives. But that's kind of it, and it doesn't give you, in my opinion, enough of who
That's
she
fair.
is to really be like to be really able to instantly pick up and just roll with everything.
Yeah, she's a very endearing character, though. I will say
Oh
that.
yeah.
I think even if you didn't know who she was beforehand, if you're like a very casual Marvel watcher, I think you were drawn to her and her character,
Yeah.
the way it was played
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
I I
And I
hope
think
she
this is the
keeps
quickest
doing
turnaround
that.
we've seen a character from a show get into something else. I think
Yep. No, I'm pretty sure you're 100% right.
that, or it's WandaVision. I can't remember what the distance was between WandaVision and Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's
Because this is
possible.
about a year, maybe a little over a year. I
Oh,
don't remember when Miss Marvel came out.
I don't think it was that close for WandaVision and Doctor Strange.
Also, it's June 8th,
And
2022
also, I
for Miss
can we
Marvel.
can we really count that because Wanda was a character in movies prior?
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
Um, but yeah, more along the
But yeah, in terms of
picky
new
line
characters,
here.
yeah, it's been the
Okay.
quickest.
Yeah, yeah.
The quickest
More
turnaround.
along a nitpicky-esque line here. Just how the movie started, trying to line up all of like the character arcs and like story beats that were going to intersect. They were all going to join at some point, but getting up to that, I felt like it kind of felt very disorganized and disjointed.
Mhm.
As soon as they brought everyone together, I thought it was perfect.
I
It just
think
kind of felt a little rough at the start.
I think that's the point. Because you
Yeah.
have these people switching places accidentally as they use their powers. I think that's kind of the point. By the way,
Yeah.
the fighting scenes throughout that were phenomenal,
Oh
in
yeah.
my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Them switching
Yeah.
places and still being able to fight relatively well. I thought that
Yeah.
was really, really good.
I love the little training montage that they had where they were all like switching places on
Yeah,
purpose to get
That
used
was
to
great.
it.
Yeah,
I feel like more movies need to have that because like most times it's just like, oh,
Marvel
we
loves
just kind of
montages.
they were like, we got this skill somehow, and I feel like showing people like actually having to train with the new power, I thought that was cool.
I also think that's
I
where
thought
they
that was
built
cool.
their chemistry the most
Yeah,
in
exactly,
in that time,
exactly.
and it was really good build of chemistry there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what else?
Singing Planet was weird.
The thing with we can talk about that first. I loved how it was a bit, they stuck to the bit, but it wasn't in your face about it at all.
Yeah.
It reminded me kind of like the God Planet and Thor Love and Thunder. Except for that, it was so in your face with all the jokes and they spent so long there and it kind of got, for me, it got very tiring very quickly. And here I thought the balance was perfect, especially the joke where she started talking to him and they were like, wait, I thought you said they can only talk by singing. And it was like,
He's
oh,
bilingual.
he's bilingual. I thought that was so funny and so perfect in the realm. Like it felt like a comic book in like the best possible way.
Yeah. It's very comic. Yeah, you're right in saying that. It's a very comic booky movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I like for Miss Marvel, I'm hoping that they bring her back for more movies and stuff at some point soon here because I think she did great here. Yeah.
The end, the post credit scene.
Yes.
The pre-credit scene.
Yes. Let's dive right into that.
It looks like
actually
this is so great. Mm-hmm. So early in the movie, they I always want to call her by her real name. Kamala Khan gets like a hold of this tablet from not Shield. What did you say? Dagger? No. Sword? No.
Saber.
How many weapons can Wally name before he gets to before he gets Saber?
Yeah, you're bouncing all around it.
From Saber, and she looked herself up. Later on, at like the last scene of the movie, she uses it again. But who do we see, Brennan? Who comes back? I alluded to her earlier.
Pizza Dog, and I think it's a he.
Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye.
Yes.
Or, Kate Bishop.
Yep.
Walks into her apartment, and who's sitting there, all ominously? Kamala Khan, with that same notepad
and the exact same dialogue beats of Nick Fury from Iron Man 1.
Iron Man or Hulk? Iron Man. You're right.
Iron Man. Yeah. Yep.
And it was so good. I never thought that she would be the one to get the Young Avengers together.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, yeah. I love it so much. I can so see her leading a group, especially after being in a group with Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really hope they actually do a Young Avengers movie, and I'm hoping they do it soon
Oh, I need it.
because
Yeah.
that would
Well,
be
yeah.
fantastic.
Well, and they mentioned Cassie Lang as well as someone else
Yes.
that's on their radar. So already we have three, and we know
Yep.
there's more. We have
Yep.
Wanda's two kids, and we have
Well,
Isaiah Bradley.
maybe we have one to two kids.
Well, it's a multiverse. Remember,
Yeah.
it could be there.
Who I would love
What
is
do we know? What do we even know? What multiverse?
Kid
What
Loki.
universe we're in? Is it
Uh
616? Do we know?
yeah,
Yeah, it is. But
unfortunately it is 616. I don't like that,
I know I don't either.
but
But anyway,
oh well.
so that happens. Awesome.
Yeah.
The post credit. Well, okay. Was there a post credit
Let's
scene, or was there? Because I saw the mid credit scene, but was there a post credit scene? I didn't
no.
stay for it. Okay, good.
Before we get there, just one last thing to mention here with Goose. Absolutely love seeing Goose's return. I thought Goose
And
did
Goose's
awesome.
babies.
There was so much build up that I didn't even catch until I was looking back where like Kamala's mom was like, "What are you hitting that cat? She's looking kind of chunky or whatever." And then
Oh my God! Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
right. I didn't pick up on that at all until I was like going back in my head. But then Goose lays a bunch of eggs that everyone at first is like, or is this like a weapon of some sort? What's going on here? And then it's all of the Flurkin like kittens or whatever. And that that was phenomenal.
That was yeah,
That
I
was
was gonna ask you
phenomenal.
how you thought about the how everyone escaped. They were all eaten by kittens.
Yeah. That seeing like Kamala Khan with a fork in their hands, like going around and like sniping people and like whatever, just all the cinematography. I think there's like a song that was playing in the background while it was going on. It was all just like that was fantastic. That was phenomenal. And then when like they land and all the Flurkins like vomit uh people back up, that was
Did you notice
great.
that old guy that was just in the park who had fallen? And then
Yeah.
like he's just like standing there and all these cats start throwing up. First off, tentacles and then people.
Yeah.
And he just like quickly walked away.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah, I think as a whole here, thoughts about this movie, overwhelmingly positive, which I was so grateful for, because Marvel is like Guardians of the Galaxy
They're a
Volume
dud
3.
factory right now.
I loved that was very much the the outlier for me here. It's been a little subpar for Marvel for the movies, just kind of chaotic here. This was a hit for me, which I was very grateful for. Also, as an update, because I know you haven't seen Secret Invasion, there was no tie into Secret Invasion whatsoever. So you did not miss a single thing. In fact, it seemed like there was less than no tie-in to Secret Invasion. It seemed like, I mean, unless Secret Invasion takes place after this, but that wouldn't make sense in my mind either. It's just like this completely disregarded and like almost like retcons some events of Secret Invasion, which was wild to me.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it and I've heard not good things, which is why I haven't continued so far. But especially considering you off the top, you said, yeah, you've watched more episodes than than anyone should watch. I've watched 2. Actually, I think it's 1.5. But well,
even
yeah,
better.
and then the Krells were in this too.
Skrull. But yeah. Oh, you're thinking
Oh my
of the
God,
Kree. You just
sorry, the
you
Krell. No. The Krell are from a book I'm reading.
Oh, okay.
It's the Skrull and the Kree. Actually, that does sound like
yeah. Literally sounds like you just morphed the 2 words.
So the mid credit scene.
Yes.
So okay, first before we get to that, because we forgot Monica. She saved the world. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, she essentially
sacrificed herself.
She did like the Iron Man sacrifice from the first Avengers movie, but did not fall back out through the wormhole. She was gone.
She is gone.
And I had seen some spoilers online.
Oh no!
I saw the movie.
You saw the movie the day of.
Yeah, no, it was. I saw like the casting announcement and like what songs would be on the soundtrack track and those two things together, I was like, I feel like I know what's going to happen. So like, I didn't know how this scene would play out. I didn't know how any of it would happen. I kind of forgot for most of the movie. And then when she was like stuck behind, I was like, oh, I know where she's going to be. And I was correct.
Where was she, Brennan?
So the post-credit scene / mid-credit scene, or whatever, she wakes up, and she's like in a hospital bed, and her mom's there. I was not expecting that.
No, me neither.
I had not seen that. But she was like, "Mom," and her mom was like, "Who are you?" And then you very briefly in the background see someone with blue hands, walk in, like a doctor's lab coat, blue hands. I like nudged Lauren, who was sitting next to me, and Lauren was like, "What are you doing?" Almost. And then it cuts to him, and it's Beast. It's the same Beast from the first 3 X-Men movie, or not. I don't think not all the first 3, but like that whole arc and cast or whatever. And he's like, "Yo, you in a different universe," and just
dude, I got so excited. I saw Beast like, oh,
crazy scene. Yeah, crazy scene. Fantastic scene.
So who is her mother? Storm?
I don't know. I didn't recognize the outfit. I was about to ask you the same thing. I'm gonna look it up here.
I don't think she is. I think she's someone else. But I was like, is that? No, it can't be. Because especially if you're saying it's the same Beast from that other universe from the first X-Men movie, there was a different person who played Storm.
Yeah, I mean, you can drag and drop a lot of the cast from the X-Men movies however you want. I know
that's fair. They've already done that with Charles.
Yeah, like the X-Men timeline has changed a million times.
Also true.
That's
true. I forgot like they reset everything when they did the was it First Class? No, not First Class. I don't know what the movies. By the way, X-Men First Class is so good.
Yeah, I have been watching all of the X-Men movies recently. Genuinely vibed with X-Men First Class.
Have you seen them before?
No,
I've seen.
This is my first time.
1, 2. I have not watched all of them, and I have not watched all of them in order.
Okay, it looks like
Dark Phoenix. I don't know. I don't remember which ones I've watched.
The one that I have to watch next is Logan, which I have.
That I've seen. That's an incredible movie.
Also not seen. I have Logan and Dark Phoenix left, and that is it. It looks like the hero is Harry.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I've
seen X-Men, X2, First Class, Days of Future Past, which also a really good movie. Apocalypse, that movie sucks. Logan, Dark Phoenix, and I've not seen New Mutants, The Wolverine, or X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I've heard is awful, and X-Men Last Stand.
So it looks like in the comics, Binary was either Carol Danvers herself or created by Carol Danvers. Gotcha. So that does kind of tie into Captain Marvel.
Yeah, a little bit. Interesting.
But yeah, so that is awesome. That sets up a lot here. It felt so satisfying. It felt like the Marvels finally closed off so many open arcs with like,
you know what? That makes sense.
When are we gonna see this character again? What's gonna happen with this storyline? What's going on here? It closed off so many storylines, pointed them into a new set, clear direction. Yep. Which I feel like this is one of the first things that has really directed the MCU in such a long time.
Yeah. I think so far, Phase 5 is doing okay. We've had some bad. It's had some decent.
It started off with Quantum Mania.
That's what I mean. It's not perfect, but it's better now. That this movie's come out. And again, I hate it's not going to get a fair shake.
Yeah.
But it's I really enjoyed this movie. It's probably one of my favorites in a while, to be honest.
Same here. Okay.
So yeah, I
Well,
think that's all I have for now.
that is
after
also
almost 2.5 hours.
all my thoughts. I'm starting to get hungry, so
I'm so glad. I like scarfed down like 2 pieces of pizza right before it started.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
perfect,
because
perfect. All right.
I'm probably gonna go to bed here in a little bit because I gotta be up to 4 in the morning
Ooh.
again. So
Awesome.
oh yeah.
Well, anyway,
So that's
have
it for
fun with
me.
that. Cool.
There's the good, the bad, the ugly in this episode, but mostly we'll
The
be
good.
accepting internal feedback,
Oh yes.
which is what I'm going to call the episode.
Internal feedback. That's perfect. Actually, that is perfect.
So
Do
if you
not
like
forget
this, before you
to,
forget,
if you like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, and also follow Wolfgator Entertainment on wherever things are available.
and not Brennan, he might have a movie, maybe eventually. I don't know. I may or may not write the music for it.
As soon as my house is back in order, I think that's going to be my next priority. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
All right, everyone.
Want to have all the files. Anyway, bye.
Yeah.
Peace.